is so good to see so many dear friends gathered in this one spot tonight. I hope you enjoyed your dinner, and if you haven't finished, please continue. Before we begin the program for this evening, I'd like to draw your attention to some people who support our university mission by generously giving their time to support the university and UAFS Foundation. Will you please join me in thanking each group as I ask them to stand? First, would members of the Foundation Board of Directors please stand and be recognized? Would members of the UAFS Board of Visitors please stand and be recognized? If you are a member of an advisory board for one of our colleges or the season of entertainment, please stand and be recognized. Would members of the Alumni Advisory Council please stand? As you can see, many people in our community play an active role on our campus, and we are grateful for their support. Also joining us tonight are many members of our campus community. Chancellor Paul Barron and his wife Janice, please stand and be recognized. If you are a faculty, staff, or an administrator on campus, would you please stand? Finally, would members of the Foundation and Alumni Office please stand? So this is the team that recently just stood that I get to work with on a daily basis. For those of you that I haven't met, my name is Ann Thomas, and I work in the UAFS Foundation. And I am blessed to work with a wonderful group of people that are hardworking individuals, and I appreciate all that they do. It takes a team to put on an event such as this one tonight, and I especially want to appreciate Lauren Cerna for her leadership in planning and the entire staff who helped support her in pulling it together. So thank you, Lauren. If I began tonight by wishing you a happy Thanksgiving, you would probably think I was crazy, but that's exactly what the Lion Legacy Celebration is. It's a chance to give thanks to all of those who have made such amazing differences in the lives of our students. So happy Thanksgiving, or as they say now, happy Friendsgiving. I may be biased, but I truly believe that I have one of the best jobs on campus. Each day, I have the opportunity to work with our generous donors, to help our students, our faculty, and our university. Earlier this year, I sat with an incredible couple, Dr. and Mrs. Belinga, and we had an opportunity to introduce the Belingas to their scholarship recipients who are also here tonight for the first time. And I watched the Belingas as they met their students and had a chance to interact with them. And I will never forget that particular visit, because at the end of our lunch, the Belingas were thanking their students for the impact that these scholarship recipients were having on their lives. Mrs. Belinga described how this had been their prayer, their dream, their vision as a family, and these students were the real-life version of these dreams come to fruition. Needless to say, it was an incredibly beautiful moment, and one I think that we can all treasure. On behalf of UAFS, thank you for allowing us to play a small role in helping your philanthropic dreams become a reality. Recently, I saw something that talks about the impact of philanthropic giving that I want to share with you tonight. The first and most obvious is the impact on the cause or charity that receives the gift. When you make a gift to the foundation, for instance, no matter which area you choose to support, You know that you are making an impact on students. Your gift to a scholarship might mean a student is able to attend college, or it might mean a student will graduate with no student loans, or perhaps your scholarship keeps them in school that last year to graduate. If your gift supports faculty enrichment, or makes an addition to our musical instrument collection or public art, you can be sure some student, or maybe scores of students, will have a chance to experience learning in a new, possibly revolutionary way. Giving creates an awareness of abundance. When you give money away, you see how it fills a need in someone else's life, and somehow, in seeing how it makes their life better, it makes you appreciate all the things you have in your life. I've experienced the great joy it brings our donors, the gratitude they show for being able to invest in someone they may never know. The second impact of philanthropy is on the donor's family. It sets an example. It shows younger generations what they value through their habit of giving. Their support for certain causes or institutions becomes part of the family's identity. That may explain why we have so many multi-generational donors here with us tonight. Excuse me. In the foundation, we think of our donors as part of a family, and during the last year, our donor family suffered some hard losses. I would like to take a moment now to remember our G.C. Hardin Society, the members that we lost this past year, including 2 husband and wife couples that we lost very close to each other. The G.C. Hardin Society honors those who name the UAFS Foundation as a beneficiary of their philanthropy through a bequest or a deferred gift. During the last year, we lost Bill and Peggy Weidman, Sally Frick, Miles Friedman, Eugene and Rosemary Rapley, Elaine Hall, Jane Williams, Bud Jackson, Betty McClendon, Harry Shipley, and Mary Jackson. Although we mourn their passing, we celebrate their lives and remain ever grateful for the legacy that they have created at UAFS. Now, I'm about to turn the microphone over to our Chancellor, Dr. Barron, but before I do, I want to say thank you again. Thank you for being part of our UAFS family. Thank you for being here tonight for our Thanksgiving dinner. Thank you for all that you do for our students. Now I have the honor to introduce Chancellor Dr. Paul B. Barron. Dr. Barron is marking his 12th year here as UAFS is celebrating 90 years of providing affordable education in Western Arkansas. Dr. Barron is a strong advocate for the university, from the local to state levels and even internationally. He also worked hard to give back to the community. He serves on the Fort Chaffee Redevelopment Authority Board and the Greater Fort Smith Chamber of Commerce Board, among others. He actively works with the Arkansas State Chamber of Commerce and the Arkansas Economic Development Commission. He was appointed by Governor Asa Hutchinson as an ex officio member representing Arkansas universities on the Arkansas Career Education and Workforce Development Board. Governor Hutchinson also appointed him chair of the Sebastian County team of Restore Hope, Arkansas. Last summer, Dr. Barron was invited to be the keynote speaker at a leadership symposium at Doshisha Women's College in Japan. Please help me welcome to the stage Chancellor Paul Barron.
Well, good evening. It is great to be here. This is one of my favorite nights at UAFS every year. It's a pleasure to be with you, and it is a pleasure to have everyone here. I really like Ann's reference to it as Thanksgiving. I think that really is adequate to describe it and appropriate to describe it. I want to have a few thank yous, and some of them have already been said, but I want to thank Ann Thomas and Mandy Osborne for their tireless work, particularly in the wake of Dr. Mary Lackey's departure for a new job and a chance to live near her grandchildren. And I also want to again single out Ms. Lauren Cerna, who's the Director of Donor Relations and Events, as she is the one with a very competent and tremendous staff who coordinated this whole event, both upstairs and downstairs. So let's show our appreciation for all the work that's been put into this wonderful event. I also want to welcome one of my colleagues in the University of Arkansas system and in the University of Arkansas family, and a very good friend, Dr. Marta Lloyd, who was formerly the foundation, the director of the foundation and the vice chancellor for advancement here at UAFS, and we worked together for many years, and so thank you very much for being here. I also want to acknowledge my wife, Janice, First Lady of the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith. Over our 12 years here at UAFS, she has been as invested in the success of our students as I have been. I want to thank her publicly for all the work that she does with our students as well. And Dr. Don and Susan Bobbitt are here as our guests, and we're very happy to have them. Dr. Bobbitt's the president of the University of Arkansas system. I am, as always, enormously thankful for their support of this institution and our students. They have been at a number of graduations and ribbon cuttings, and I really thank you so much for your loyalty to UAFS. And if you notice, they were both wearing blue tonight, and so I was very impressed with that. And to the board of the foundation and all the donors, we give thanks to you. This whole night is about you, but I just want to say personally how much I appreciate what you do and the fact that I could not even begin to express the level of appreciation that I have for all of you and how you change this institution into what it is. You know, for most, if not all of you, I'm sure there's a satisfaction in knowing that your support of UAFS has helped countless students succeed in and graduate from college. But I want to talk to you tonight about exactly who these students are and where they come from, who you're helping. We serve students from all walks of life at UAFS, different ethnicities, financial backgrounds, and ages. Some are parents, some are traditional 18-year-olds for whom attending college is an expectation. Some are non-traditional students for whom college is an unknown. Most have to work while they attend school to make ends meet, no matter what part of the culture they come from. You also should know that over 60% of our students are on some kind of Pell money, which means that they are financially aided because of their financial situation, and that 92% of our students go through the financial aid department here in some combination of Pell money, scholarships, or borrowing money in order to be able to attend this university. That paints a picture of people who are determined to be successful. Think about how much courage it would take to decide that you want to be the first in your family to continue college. Maybe you're a non-traditional student who isn't happy with the circumstances of your present life. Maybe you want to earn more money, perhaps to provide a better life for your family. Maybe when you start talking to your kids about a college education, you want to serve as an example to them and show them that you think it's really important. Or maybe you're a traditional student who was raised by parents who didn't have a college degree. Maybe you watched them work in manual labor as you grew up and listened to them always tell you the importance of going to college after high school because they wanted to see you find better employment than they did. Now think about how intimidating it would be to set foot on campus the first day of classes, to embark on an experience that, as I said before, is an unknown to you. Think about all the people you would encounter who are exceedingly comfortable in the same environment, how it might feel that you don't belong, how you may have nagging doubts about if you're ready for the rigors of college. If no one else in your family has ever completed college, and after all, what makes you think you'll be good enough? Think about finishing a day of learning in the classroom, which is exhausting enough, and having to shrug off your backpack, change into your work clothes for an evening shift at a local business or factory. Because for you, life doesn't stop while you're attending college. Think about putting your child to bed at the end of a long, tiring day and wanting to do nothing else but go to sleep. But instead, you have to study for a test the next day. On some days, though, the challenges might seem just too much. On those overwhelming days when all your different responsibilities seem to converge on you at once and you're ready to just quit, you're ready to agree with those doubts that you have, and you consider the fact that maybe this is too much for you. But here are some other things to think about. Think about being initially intimidated by college in high school, but then you hear about the Western Arkansas Technical Center. So you enroll in a concurrent credit class while you're still in high school, and by the time you enroll in college as a freshman, UAFS feels like a second home to you. And in addition, you're one semester closer to your goal of getting a degree. Think about having a flat tire with no extra money to pay for it, facing the prospect of dropping out of school, the prospect of losing all the progress you've made toward your dream. Because you can't transport yourself to class, you're going to lose everything. And instead, you receive an emergency scholarship from the UAFS Foundation to purchase the new tire. Suddenly, the window to completing college opens up again. Think about having a final exam and not having anyone to look after your child, and instead of missing the test and potentially failing the class, your professor schedules a time for you to take the final separately while she sits and plays with your child. Think about having a professor who encourages you to apply for medical school, even if you think your grades aren't really quite good enough because you had a bad semester and you're just not sure if your life circumstances are up to it. Think about that professor telling you that the only person who is keeping you from medical school is you, and you believe him, and you apply, and you get accepted. Think about getting involved in student organizations or finding a friend in one of your classes who faces the same challenges as you do, and realizing that you're not alone in the difficulties you face in your pursuit of a college education. Now let's go back to that moment on that bad day when you're considering just quitting because your many obligations seem like too much. But you keep yourself focused because college has taught you to stop looking at the present and focus on the future, and you imagine your life in 10 years without college and without a degree. And at midnight, you open that folder of notes and you study for tomorrow, not today. The vision that someday you will stand on a podium in this very arena we're gathered in today, shake my hand and receive a degree that will forever change the trajectory of you and your family. This is the transformational, life-changing power of education. And not just any education, but an accessible, affordable education like the one offered here at the University of Arkansas Fort Smith. If you get a chance this year, I would invite you, any of you in this room, students or donors, and there's many students in this room whose hand I will be shaking, and I look forward to that, but I would invite you to sit in the crowd of a graduation. Watch the smiles and expressions of joy that they weren't able to contain as they receive college degrees. It doesn't matter if who you're watching is a first-generation student or if a college education runs in their family. The joy of earning a college degree does not discriminate. But I would invite you to come and watch their faces. And as you do, I would ask you to reflect on the fact that whether or not they directly receive financial support from you or not, your generous gifts help them indirectly. Many of the students who are sitting at your tables, your help is helping them directly. Now here's a few final things for you to think about. Think about receiving your first job offer after graduating. Maybe you were able to earn that job because of the professional skills you received from the Babb Center for Student and Professional Development here at UAFS that was started by our very generous supporters, Doug and Kathy Babb. Or maybe you earned a degree in a high-demand career field. Or maybe you went on to graduate school before returning here to find employment. Maybe all three. But think about accepting that job offer that opens up new realities in your life, the ability to buy a house, to support a family, to buy a nice car, without having to stress that you can't afford it. Or if you have already accomplished some of these milestones, an income that allows you to comfortably meet those financial obligations. Think about starting a job here in Fort Smith, maybe as a nurse, an accountant, a teacher, a professional on the floor of a manufacturing facility. Think about stepping into the building on the first day, the excitement of the beginning of a long, prosperous career here in the city as a tax-paying citizen that supports the economy. And that long career might just culminate in you sitting in this very room decades from now after you've decided to support the school that helped you accomplish your dreams. Many institutions prepare their students for leaving. We prepare our students for staying. And when I say we, I'm not just referring to UAFS, I'm referring to everyone gathered in this room. Because without your help, we would not be nearly as effective at supporting our students. When you help one student or a group of students, your efforts come together to support all of our students. This constellation of supporters gathered in this room are directly responsible for countless success stories for students with stories very similar to the ones I just recounted. This is truly our university. I'm honored to have worked with you all to ensure the success of our students, and I look forward to even more successful school years in the years to come. Here to describe how his life is being transformed by a college education is our next speaker, Luke Barber. Luke is a member of my Chancellor's Leadership Council, and he'll be serving in Congressman Steve Womack's office this summer as the 2018 John Paul Hammerschmidt Fellow. Please welcome him.
Thank you, everyone. Let me find my place. Good evening, everybody. As Dr. Barron said, my name is Luke Barber. I'm a sophomore international business student with a minor in philosophy and a certificate in community leadership. I'm also a recipient of the Chancellor's Leadership Council Scholarship, as well as the Mabel and Lloyd Hobbs Memorial Endowment Scholarship. Now, I've been asked today to speak with you about my experience as a prestigious scholarship recipient. But I'd first like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We really do appreciate you being here. This is only my second time attending this event, but it has quickly become one of my favorite nights of the year. I remember being extremely excited to meet my donor last year, and I had the opportunity to meet and talk with a lot of you, and I really do appreciate that, and I look forward to getting to meet and talk with many more of you. This room has one of the most diverse crowds I've had the pleasure of speaking at. We have donors from every field and every experience in life, and we have students who are interested in doing great things. I would encourage both sides to speak out to one another and to gain knowledge and to share knowledge with the eager minds. Now, I've never had the opportunity to share my story with anyone else other than close friends, so I discovered, now's as good a time as any. My story it ties in nicely with Dr. Barron's, but it revolves around goals and the importance of them. See, I was born in Lavaca, Arkansas, which is a town I'm sure many of you are familiar with, or the type of town. It's the type of town where if you were born there, you're most likely going to end up retiring there. The pace was slow and steady, and the population was small. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. However, my plans aim to take me outside of that town. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family who believed in my dreams and believed in my goals, but also knew the importance of teaching me that if I wanted to reach those goals, they would not be handed to me. I would have to work for them. Taking their lessons to heart, I did all that I could in middle school to prepare myself for high school. I did all that I could in high school to ensure that I was prepared for college. And I can tell you, looking back, that they were right. There was a lot of work. Countless restless nights were spent studying and preparing myself for the future. There were often times I would try and start bargaining with myself, saying, I don't need the A that bad, I can go out with my friends tonight. But my mind would always snap back to my parents saying, goals are meant to be worked for. And I'm sure every donor and faculty member in this room can attest to that. All of this hard work, however, paid off when I received the news that I was awarded my scholarships. If it were not for the generosity of the donors in this room, my college experience would be completely different. It's true that I would have most likely found a way, like every other student, to attend college and to make this happen, but I would not have had the luxuries that I have right now. Some of you may take for granted or may just overpass the fact that people live on campus, but for me, that's one of the biggest things in my college experience so far. I could give you the statistics on retention rates of people who attend college that live on campus versus those who commute. Or I could simply tell you that living on campus has enabled me to be involved and make new experiences I might not have had. I might not have had this opportunity if I were to live at home and to work a full-time job. If you haven't had the pleasure of speaking to our Chancellor, Dr. Paul Barron, I would encourage you to do so. If nothing else, to see how passionate he is about our university and the students. I went from the town with 60 people in my graduating class to learning everything about how to have proper table etiquette, to political reasoning, to developing myself as an effective leader. And it was all done under this intimidating figure, so thank you for that. However, as time went on, it became apparent that his goal for us was to only help us reach our full potential. And this concept of a stranger helping us and being so passionate about our success was foreign to me until I came to this event. Everyone in this room is here because they believed in the futures of unknown students. You have placed your faith and effort in us to see us succeed and reach our full potential. This sort of selfless giving is something that we need more of in our time. And I hope it's the goal of every student in this room to eventually give back to the community that has given so much to them. I know it's become mine. And since receiving my scholarship, I've been given so many opportunities I would never thought possible. I've had lunch with Speaker of the House, Jeremy Gillum. I've sat on stage as the Fort Smith Symphony played a private concert for our class. Because of the opportunities that you've given me at UAFS, I've traveled all across the country on leadership training and retreat. I've had personal meetings with local and national politicians who now know me on a first-name basis, and I have an extraordinary letter of recommendation from our Chancellor. This summer, I will be traveling to Washington, D.C. to work under Congressman Womack for 7 weeks, and I was recently elected president of our university's Student Government Association. Hopefully, these provide me with the skills it takes to eventually go to law school. Now, there are no words that I can think of to accurately describe how thankful I am for the opportunity that your gifts have brought me, and every student in this room. So I'd just like to say thank you and ask the students to join me in a round of applause on the donors' behalf. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Luke, for sharing your story tonight. I have no doubt that you will do great things when you graduate from the University of Arkansas Fort Smith. And myself personally, and I'm sure others in the room, will look forward to following you and your successes as an alumnus of UA Fort Smith. Now, I'd like to invite our next student speaker, Pedro Gutierrez, to the podium to share his story. Pedro is a senior geoscience major at UAFS, and I had an opportunity to meet him earlier this year when we hosted an event in the College of STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, and was impressed with this young man and think that you will be too. Please help me welcome Pedro Gutierrez.
Thank you, Ann, for introducing me. And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Amazing food and amazing crowd. So as mentioned, my name is Pedro Gutierrez. I'm a full-time student here at the University of Arkansas Fort Smith and majoring in the geosciences. To begin, I did not always have a set plan. When I entered UAFS, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do for my career. During high school, I did not keep up with my grades. I didn't have the best ACT score. And if I passed with C's, it was the only thing that mattered. But not knowing that this ended up hurting me financially, as I did not qualify for any scholarships as I entered UAFS in the fall of 2013. In turn, my parents and I had to financially support my tuition and my living expenses. I did not know if I was going to continue college as I was struggling both financially and in school. However, one person keeping me from leaving school was my mother. Her only wish is that my brother and I would graduate from college and succeed in life. With her dedication, I decided to fight through the struggle and be the best person I could be. That is when I reached out to Dr. Darbo, Dean of the STEM College, about the struggle of personally supporting my tuition. UAFS Foundation soon after reached out to me and said, "Hey Pedro, we have a gentleman who supports you and wants to invest in your future." That someone is Sam Seacard and his family, and I could not be more grateful for their support and the belief that I could do something great. Receiving the Seacard Family Scholarship has been an honoring and relieving experience. Before being awarded the scholarship, I did not have any form of financial assistance except that of my mother. I worked up to 60 hours a week so that I could pay my tuition and living expenses. At one time, I took off a semester so I could save up for the next school year. At any given point through the struggle, did I ever think to give up and that it was not worth it? With the support of my mother and her dedication, it inspired me to do great things. With the help of the Seacard family and donors like you, I can carry this inspiration and focus on my future. I decided to apply for UAFS while I attended Southside High School. I enrolled in an entrepreneurship class, and with the help of UAFS, we presented our business plan in front of a panel of local entrepreneurs, and we received the funding needed to start our business. After winning first place, we were awarded a $1,000 scholarship for UAFS tuition. So in turn, that piqued my interest in business and in attending UAFS. However, as you all know, we make some changes in our life. As a young child, I always questioned things, and I was curious, asked too many questions. A specific area that interested me was the geosciences. So what was my first reaction when I heard from my professors that UAFS would have a geoscience major? I'll tell you, I was the first one to enroll and the first one to graduate. So, since being enrolled, thank you. Since being enrolled as a geoscience major, I've taken any opportunity that would benefit my future. I've attended conferences such as the American Association of Petroleum Geologists, Geological Society of America, and locally here, the Fort Smith Geological Society. I'm also vice president of the Geology Club, and I engage in independent research under the guidance of Dr. Mayo. After receiving the scholarship from the Seacard family and donors like you, I've been able to dedicate my attention to my studies and formulate the plan that I have today. That plan is to continue my education and obtain a master's degree. To further expand my knowledge in the geosciences, I've been inspired both by the field and my professors on how rewarding this field can be. With this knowledge, I want to mitigate and mediate environmental impacts both by natural and anthropogenic origin. In doing so, I want to own my own geoconsulting firm and serve both the private and public sector. I am filled with ambition and the yearn for success that I'm willing to go above and beyond. Opportunities that I've been given in the past few years are not one to pass, but to grab a hold of and take with you. With the opportunity to continue college without a financial burden has been one of the most meaningful ones. I'm very appreciative towards Sam Seacard, although he was not able to attend the previous Lion Legacy banquet. With the help of UAFS Foundation, reached out to him to schedule a meeting with him. I went out of my way to personally thank him for investing in my future and believing that I could do something great. And I told him that with his support, I would make sure that it would not go unnoticed. Because of you, I went from a high school student unsure of their future to one who's now ambitious and seeking a higher level education. I've carried myself through the struggle and success. I have gone through trials that helped shape the person I am today. Because of you, I'm standing here in front of both amazing students and donors. I want to extend my gratitude to Dr. Dave Mayo, who has helped pave my future and the love for the geosciences. I want to thank both Dr. Paul Barron and the amazing people at the UAFS Foundation, and also the people that make this happen, to give students like me a chance to meet people who believe that through the power of education, we can change the world. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Pedro. You and Luke are wonderful examples of the students Dr. Barron mentioned in his remarks earlier. And I want to mention a point too that I think is really important that I heard from Pedro and from Luke, and I'm sure if all of the other students in the room could get up and speak tonight, the connection to our faculty, to our administrators that have a direct impact and role in their lives and the success of their future is something that I feel is unique to UA Fort Smith. And that's incredible. So thank you, faculty and staff that are in this room, for your role and for your investment in their lives. Yeah, they deserve applause. Now we have a special video treat for you tonight. One of the joys of working on a campus such as UA Fort Smith is the chance to interact with students and alumni every day. As we come to work and leave work and have meetings across campus, we get to see students on the way to classes or perhaps meeting with their student organizations, and it's just a vibrant place to come to work. And so tonight, we thought that we would share that joy with you through this video that shows how lives are changed because of you.
Because of you, I'm able to live out my passion of helping children learn and grow. This scholarship has blessed me with the opportunity to live on campus instead of having to commute from Clarksville, which allowed me to focus on my studies.
Because of you, I was able to play my 5th year of baseball and enjoy a great year while studying for the LSAT and get a full ride scholarship to the University of Arkansas Law School.
Because of you, I have a brighter future, and with my scholarship, I'm able to attend this university. I will complete a 2-year degree in May and will have my bachelor's in 2020.
I'm Henry Gutierrez, and because of you, I had no undergraduate debt. That means I can go to medical school today and serve this community tomorrow.
Because of you, I was able to attend UAFS, where I was able to meet people who connected me with my passion.
Because of you, I get to attend the college that is just the right size for me, where I've met friends who have become my second family, and I am getting to learn firsthand from instructors who are teaching me to heal the whole person instead of just the illness.
Because of you, I didn't have to work during the week. I could enjoy my time outside of classes and focus on leadership activities within the College of Business, as well as attend and support my friends at athletic events.
I should add that anytime that you want to come to campus and enjoy a few hours with our students or maybe having lunch in the Lions Den, we love having visitors, and we would be happy to connect you with your own personal day in the life on campus. But I'd like to introduce alumna and former recipient of the Mabel and Lloyd Hobbs Memorial Endowed Scholarship, Tulsa House, who created the video that you just watched a moment ago. She is here to share her story with you tonight, so please help me welcome to the stage, Tulsa.
Hi, everyone. Thank you to Lauren Cerna for hiring my little company to make this video, and thank you to all the beautiful people that were in the video. They were incredible to work with, and I loved hearing their stories. Oh, gotta flip to my script. I chose UAFS for its media communication program. When I first heard about this major, I was intrigued by its variety of subjects, including journalism, marketing, public relations, and more. My time at UAFS was precious. I made lasting friendships, professional connections, and practiced my passions. None of that would have happened without UAFS, and UAFS would have never happened without my legacy scholarship. My parents scraped together what they had in hopes of me attending college, just as I had worked a part-time job since I had turned 17. But school is expensive. Books and classes and supplies are expensive. Let's be honest, living in general is expensive. But because of you, because of your compassion shown through these generous scholarships and donations, students like me get to follow their dreams and learn about what they're passionate toward. For me, I loved being creative, working with technology, and putting together a piece of work I was proud of. And now, through the education I have received, I have started my own company, working with local businesses and organizations to create desired social media presences and short videos. Not only that, but my degree in motivation landed me a full-time position as a marketing coordinator for a business here in Fort Smith. So I'm working quite a bit, but I'm loving the experience and still learning new things to this day. Because of you, I had fewer financial worries during school. Because of you, I am working 2 jobs that I love, including my own very small business. And because of you, I have hope that my future will only get brighter from here. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this life.
Thank you, Tulsa. And thank you to your company, Lighthouse Social Media, for the great work that you all did capturing our students and alumni. We appreciate it. I'd like to, again, this night, it is really about our students. And so I'd like to ask you all to give Pedro and Luke and Tulsa and the numerous students that you all met tonight at your tables, will you just give them a round of applause? We hold this event so you can have a chance to see what happens when you give, whether of your time, talent, or treasure, and to have a chance to meet your scholarship recipients in person. These students have a chance to change their lives because you believed in them. Your willingness to help support the undertaking that is the University of Arkansas Fort Smith always leads to great things. But spotlighting our students isn't the only reason we gather tonight. We also want to spotlight you, our most faithful supporters. Or for some of you in this room, you may attend because a loved one in your life supported the UA Fort Smith Foundation, and maybe it was a particular scholarship or a program area, and you're here to help celebrate their memory tonight. We want our students to meet you, to learn a little bit about your life's journey, and to understand how completely interconnected we all are. We are so proud of all you've accomplished and of your willingness to share what you have earned with our students. As the evening now moves towards its ending, there are a couple of housekeeping points that I'd like to make. First, I'd like to, again, just give credit to Lauren Cerna. And this, if you've been to one of our Lion Legacy celebrations before, you know just how incredibly beautiful tonight was. Lauren had the leadership and vision to add a nice reception beforehand. And the other thing that I want to appreciate is the beautiful decorations that we have this year. By partnering, your flowers are very pretty. By partnering with the athletic department, which will hold its Hall of Fame banquet here later this week, we were able to do much more without spending more. All the decorations, including the table bouquets, will be reused. It's just another way we show respect for the money entrusted to us. Now, I want to take one more opportunity to say thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your investment in UAFS. And thank you for helping to improve the lives of our students and the communities in which they live, and we hope they continue to live even after their graduation. Even as I'm saying thank you, I think of John F. Kennedy, who on one Thanksgiving more than 50 years ago noted, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. We hope always to live up to the faith you place in our students and to us. Now I wish you good night and safe travels. Thank you.